A forgotten box in the attic held more than just dust and memories. Among moth-eaten clothes and faded letters, she found it, a single black and white photograph. It captured a family, frozen in the stiff formality of the 1920s. Their smiles as thin as the paper it was printed on. Her eyes scanned the scene. A stern-faced father, a mother with a vacant gaze, and two children holding hands. But it was the background that drew her in. Far behind them, almost lost in the grainy landscape, stood a figure. It was a man in a dark suit. His form so indistinct, he could have been a trick of the light, a shadow cast by a long-gone tree. She felt a faint, unexplainable chill, but dismissed it, placing the photograph on her nightstand. Later that evening, as moonlight streamed into her room, her gaze fell upon the photograph again. A strange feeling, a prickle of unease crawled up her spine. She picked it up, her fingers trembling slightly. Something was wrong. The figure, the shadowy man in the suit, was no longer a distant speck. He seemed to have taken a step, his form clearer, his presence more defined. It was impossible, a delusion brought on by the late hour and an overactive imagination. She shook her head, trying to clear the image, but the feeling of being watched lingered, cold and heavy in the quiet room. Her heart began to beat a little faster. The night offered no rest. Every time she dared to look, the photograph had changed. In a terrifying, silent progression, the figure moved. A quick glance revealed him standing just behind the children, his silhouette sharp against the pale sky. She squeezed her eyes shut, then opened them again. He was now beside the father, his featureless face turned slightly towards the viewer. The cuts became faster, a frantic montage of his approach. Each shift brought him closer, his form growing larger, more menacing. A creeping darkness consuming the happy family portrait. The air grew cold, and a sense of dread filled the room, thick and suffocating. With a final, terrifying lurch, the image settled. Her breath caught in her throat, a silent scream trapped within her chest. The photograph was now almost entirely filled by his presence. The man, no longer a shadow, was pressed against the very surface of the picture, his dark shape consuming the foreground, his hand seemingly resting on the invisible glass. The family was gone, swallowed by his encroaching form. It was as if he was no longer a part of the photograph, but a thing trapped behind a thin paper window, ready to step through into her world. The silence of the room was broken only by the frantic, terrified beating of her own heart.